Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning. Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this Monday, the 25th of May. 25th of May, yeah? All those years ago. Anyway, in the Celtic news this morning, Celtic are they're giving you they're going to drop. Celtic will drop love bombs all week this week. Celtic are going to go out and kiss your asses with love bombs every single day this week because we know what's happening at the end of this week. And Celtic have been on the website today, and this will be on the app also. When you go onto the website, there's love bomb number 1 of the week. Love bomb number 1 of the week. We've got trophies on our mind. Today, thanks to the Hoops securing the double after a victory over Dunfermline on Saturday, the 23rd of May. Martin O'Neill has brought silverware home once again, and it was a fantastic end to a roller coaster season. A roller coaster season? Are you having a laugh, you bunch of charlatans? The deadline to renew your season ticket is at 5 p.m. on Friday, May the 29th, this Friday. How about you get a manager in place first? Happened the last time that we knew we needed a manager. Brendan Rodgers was announced this week, all those years ago. Will Celtic announce a new manager this week? The deadline to renew your season ticket is 5 p.m. this Friday, it's May the 29th. So secure your place now to be here for all the action next season. Do not miss out on more goals, more trophies, and more unforgettable moments in Paradise 2026-27. Lock in your seat now. Lock in your seat now. Have you renewed, or have you decided, no, we'll wait until we'll see what's going to happen? Because let's face it, Celtic, it's you really need to get your act together. Just saying. Don't know. Lisbon Lions, 59 years ago today. Never ever forgotten, says the flying column. Yep, and a big shout out to the Lisbon Lions. I wore my Lisbon Lion t-shirt last night. I should have kept it till this morning, but never mind, I wore it last night instead. But anyway, that is Celtic update this morning in regard to season tickets. Celtic are going to drop you love bombs. Marcelo Srirachi. Now, this is an interesting one because there's a couple of opposing. Some articles and some journalists are saying that they reckon that the deal's done. Some are saying it's not done. What we do know is Celtic did enter into talks with, and whoever, I've got to just say, whoever said to me yesterday, Andy Robertson's coming to Celtic, it's a done deal. I got told by the boy at the pub last night and at the game yesterday. Well, Andy Robertson is joining Tottenham on a free transfer, according to reports. I didn't think Andy Robertson would come to Celtic. Not when you've got Kieran Tierney in the team. But anyway, Shanklin on a free will be better than Iniacho on a free, I suspect. Sack the board. Too many people ignoring the board. The board. As cheap dopamine hit. Sack the board. It started. It is started. There's one thing for sure. Celtic, we're into the summer season now. We're into silly season, and we're into the time of year where us as fans were asked to be patient. You know, to back the team, the unity from the board. The board have been very, very quiet since we won the league. You know, they've not that you would expect them to come out and say anything, but they're going to drop love bombs this week. I think that they'll drop. Will they drop a merchandise? They usually do, don't they? Drop another little. There's buy some more merch. And if you are looking for a 5 in a row t-shirt, jump over to hoopsmerch.co.uk. If you're not wanting to spend money with the club, but you still want to have a little bit of a laugh, jump over to Hoops merch and get your 5 in a row t-shirt. There we go. Just a little plug. The link will be in the description of the video. Anyway, let's get back to the real stuff. Marcelo Sarachi's been in talks with the Celtic board. Well, his agent has. And Marcelo Sarachi wanted some kind of... He wants to play more. And I think that the deal will stall. And I think that that deal may collapse due to the fact that we've got Kieran Tierney. And no one at Celtic can give guarantees. A manager can't give guarantees. But no one at Celtic right now can give Marcelo Sarachi any kind of guarantee that he'll play 20 games. No one can give him that. Because when you've got a player like Kieran Tierney in the team who is valued way more than Marcelo Sarachi, and it doesn't mind about, we've all got our own opinions about, well, I think Marcelo Sarachi is better than Kieran Tierney. Some people say, no way, Tierney's better than Sarachi. They're two similar-ish type of players, but they've got different values that they can both bring to the team. The issue is we've got young players coming through the system. And yes, you want to try and have as high a quality as player as possible coming into the squad. But if another manager comes in and looks at Sarachi and goes, "Do you know what? I don't really fancy him, mate. I would rather play a younger player that has come through the system." And hopefully my 5 in a row t-shirt will arrive today. Just saying, I'll have it on tonight, just to show you. So tell me your thoughts about the situation with transfers. Do you think we shouldn't be making any decisions as the club? That's my thoughts on it. We shouldn't be making any decisions on any transfers. Martin O'Neill seemingly told Iniacho turned around to Martin O'Neill and said, "Martin, are you going to keep me on?" And Martin allegedly, he allegedly turned around and says, "I'm not the manager anymore." Well, we know that because the last game, so it's all up in the air, isn't it? I'm going to jump through some comments this morning. See if, I'm getting a lot of posts saying Robbie Keane is manager, if I can hope not. Well, I've got to say that was something that I had mentioned about a month ago. It was looking like it could be Robbie Keane because of the chat you're hearing in the background. There's usually no smoke without fire with this kind of stuff, and it wouldn't be a surprise because Martin O'Neill and Robbie Keane do have a close relationship, and it wouldn't surprise me if Martin O'Neill is taking a job upstairs. I don't think that Celtic would want to lose Martin O'Neill altogether especially after losing Jens to Motherwell. But we'll wait and see. Don't want Shankland. I don't think anybody at Celtic wanted Shankland, to be honest. I don't know why you're even talking about Shankland. Morning, Basno, the Celtic fans on this Lisbon Lions Day. Yes, I did mention that at the beginning, 25th of May. I know it's a big Celtic thing, but it's hard to get. See, when you didn't live it and it was before your time, do you ever sit back and go, yeah, it was a great achievement, but it's not something I've lived? Do you know what I mean? It's great to see it as the club and stuff and remember it, and an unbelievable feat that the club achieved. But sometimes as a fan, you think, do you know, we did that back then. We've not done. I mean, what we've done in my lifetime, we got to Seville. For me, 88 was, for me personally, winning the double in 88 and everything that was going on in my life. Everyone will have different agenda and different thoughts on this, but for what I went through in 1988 personally, and how my life changed in 1988, that's always the year that sticks out with me. 2003 is up there, but I'm kind of like, do you know what was the better? We didn't win anything in 2003. Nothing. Nothing at all. It's hard to kind of get excited about. We get excited about Martin O'Neill in 2003 and we didn't win anything. At least in 67 we won the damn trophy. And God rest all those players that are no longer with us today. But I want Celtic to achieve stuff in my lifetime. So I could tell my grandkids about it. Anyway, KT breaks a lot. KT breaks a lot, does he? He's not broken down this season. So Brian, I think if you can tell me when he's been out injured for any length of time this season, he's played right up to the end of the season. Just saying, that was a big argument for not having Kieran Tierney at the beginning of the season, but he's went through a full season. It just shows you sometimes, you know. We have this outlook on players, and it's amazing that we're actually having the conversation. Who's the better player? A £25 million rated player or a 1.5 million rated? It's the most bizarre conversation ever. But Brian reckons that KT breaks a lot. Have your say in the comments. Who's missing the chaos on the pitch already? Oh, for a team who struggle for goals, we scored 3 goals per game out of 6 in the last 7. Hibs games we only managed 2. Yeah, I know, eh? And talk about, because that was the fear going into. I can remember the thumbnail for the 7 games to go, and it was 7 must-win games. And we, prior to that, we had not been on a goal-scoring feat at all. We were absolutely woeful in front of goal. But it does just show you this bunch of players, when this bunch of players know what's at stake. Is it the bunch of players, or is it the players that have been at the club for a long time that know that must-win mentality? Do you know? I think that Kieran Tierney kind of spoke about it about Callum Robertson, Callum McGregor. I'm looking at Andy Robertson news coming in. He's no longer. He's going to Spurs. Callum McGregor. Kieran Tierney says that a lot of people don't see what Callum does in the background. So it's not just the stuff on the pitch. It's the stuff that he does in training. It's the stuff that he does in the gym with players. It's the stuff that he does when he's not at Celtic Park for the players and stuff. You know, and I've said it before. We need players like Callum McGregor at the club. You need players like, you know, Colby Donovan's coming through the system. Dane Murray, they're the ones that will carry on that legacy of we know what it means to win every bloody game, and we know what it takes now because we've learned from Callum McGregor, from Kieran Tierney, who's now won a good number of trophies. James Forrest, you know, just keep on plugging away. You will get it. You will get it. The hard work will pay off in the end. And for as shit as we were last season, it's now the last season, isn't it? It's as bad as we were last season. To come through and get a double, Jesus. Now that we could sit back and we're all sober and it's a Monday morning and we can reflect on winning a double, and that was deemed as a bad season for Celtic last year. It's in council terms, it's a mind fuck. Sorry for swearing at this time of the morning. Do apologise. But there's one thing for sure. Tierney can't play all games, including Europe, says Jimmy. I need to go and look at the stats of Kieran Tierney because I think he did play in every game. Anyway, who cares? The season's over. The season's over, and we're debating Kieran Tierney. We could play Sriracha on the left back and KT on the left wing, so both can play in the same team. Says Jim. Who do you lose? Who do you drop in the midfield then? Who do you drop in the midfield? Because you're going to have to drop a player to play both, you know. And as it stands just now, we've lost out. Anyway, never mind talking about if Sriracha will be at Celtic, because Sriracha posted this on his Instagram. So the conversations that you might be having may be completely irrelevant because at the bottom it says the end. The end. See it down there? The end. He put that on his Instagram. Yeah, he put that on his Instagram after we won the double. The end. Yeah, it is the end of the journey. Is it the end of him at Celtic? He's got a double. Does it mean it's the end of his time at Celtic? Has he decided, don't know, and then the conversations that you're all having, who's the better player and who should play, will be completely irrelevant if he doesn't get a contract. He's no longer a Celtic player. I think he is until Friday, I think. He's still on the books at Celtic. But after this weekend, Marcelo Sarachi's not a Celtic player. So any comments that said that you could do this, you could do that, no, you can't. Because he's not there unless we buy him. And he may not want to come to Celtic with the lack of first team action due to the fact that Kieran Tierney's played so much football this season. I'm not trying to have an argument with you this morning. I'm just kind of stating the obvious. Anyway, we need a manager pronto. Half the squad will leave. Big job in the SAR, says Willie. We need a manager this week. We definitely need a manager this week. And will Celtic have got a habit of kind of extending the season ticket deadline until the Monday. It's very unusual, and if they do want a boost on season ticket sales, they generally try and get the manager in beforehand. I don't want Robbie Keane either. That says Jim Lister. Very angry this morning, Jim. You're coming across as really angry on this Monday morning. Raging, in fact. Why not just not rotate KT and Sarachi between games, says Kieran, because he's not a Celtic player anymore. So we have to get him to agree a contract. I don't know. I think that we're being very presumptuous that that he will want to come to Celtic. Not many players want to come and sit on the bench. And to be fair, I will go with whatever the next manager thinks rather than us lot online. Do you know what I mean? I'll trust the manager and some of the backroom staff. Fozzie, definitely. Sorry, we need better quality defenders than Trusty Ralston's Scales if we're to improve this team. Well, Scales is going nowhere because he's just been given a lengthy contract, which means that he will be the one defender that will be going nowhere. So you're now looking at, if anyone's going to leave this summer, my money would be on Austin Trusty. I can't see anybody coming in for CCV. Tony Ralston may leave the club because he's only got 1 year left on his contract. That's the big one to watch for the summer for me, is Tony Ralston. For the Celtic through and through players. He's the only one that hasn't been given a contract extension as yet. With 1 year to go, he's in the same time frame now as Greg Taylor was. Now, Greg Taylor was offered the contract at Celtic, was offered increased wage terms at Celtic, but Greg Taylor didn't want to be Sarachi. You've got to remember that. Greg Taylor would have played the same amount of games as Sarachi, so Greg Taylor was well within. He was correct in saying, "Do you know what? I don't want to stay at Celtic because I want to play most games. I've no idea if he's played every week in Cyprus, but we just need to wait and see what happens with that position." When it comes to Ralston, I think that he will be thinking as well. I want to play every week. I'm at that age. I've done my time at Celtic. I've won the medals. You know, I've been there. I've done it. And when you look at Tony Ralston's face as well, during the awards stuff, you could kind of get that feeling that, you know, this might be my last. He's taken it all in. It wasn't his usual, oh yes, he was kind of just at the back and taking it all in and listening intently. And that's what happens when you know that you're not going to be doing this again. You know, you've got a decision to make. And do you. Tony Ralston deserves to go somewhere else and play some football. Not because he's a crap player and he's not Celtic quality. He's Celtic diehard. But every player wants to play football, you know, and there's not many players out there that would stick around as long as Tony Ralston has, to be fair. Um, Whatever his qualms, I don't believe it's a case of concerns of a laugh of game time. No chance. Yeah, Kieran, of course it's not. Of course it's not. What a season we've had, upwards and onwards. Gutted about Jota, yeah, I'm absolutely gutted about Jota. I was watching the Lions in '67. You guys don't realise how good the team was. No, we don't, Peter, because we didn't live it. There's a unfortunately now there's a big chunk of the Celtic fan base that weren't born. Do you know the '67 thing? It was. We've watched videos. We've spoke to the players. You know, we've over the years we've all had chances to speak to Lisbon Lions, but it's a dying. They are sadly there's not many left, and when you hear about the legacy, it it only wants us as fans to have our own part of legacy. We want to achieve and we want to see the team achieve. So hence the reason that there is a big chunk of the younger fan base that are against the board, that think that the board are lackadaisical, that they think that the board aren't trying. They want to see Celtic achieve something like what the Lisbon Lions did. Okay, we've done a 9 in a row. Fair point. We've seen a 9 in a row. Something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. We've seen 25 years, 26 years now of Celtic domination in Scottish football. Yeah, that's fine in Scottish football. But I keep hearing these stories for my dad and loads of older guys. Oh, yeah, 67 team was way better. I want to see us doing something in Europe. Do you know? I want to live that. And the fact, the sad fact is, we celebrate 2003 like it was some kind of fantastic achievement. Yeah, it was an achievement getting there, but we've never done anything since. And on today of all days, isn't the day that we should be rejoicing in the fact of '67, but it's also a sad reflection on the current football team and the current generations of fans that have not been able to witness the success that people like you and a lot of the older folk on this channel have done. And yeah, I'll say that from a selfish point of view. Do you know, it's great that it's amazing that you managed to witness it, but don't keep it all to yourselves. Come on, Celtic. Give the current generation of Celtic fans something to remember. Do you know, it's okay. Doubles and that's fine. It's a fantastic achievement. But give us something in Europe, please. Just, and what makes it worse, over our domination of Scottish football, that manky mob across the city have done well in Europe a couple of times more than us. Really well in the Europa. That's hard to take. Don't know. We can shout and laugh about meltdowns and all the rest of it, and rinse and repeat with that lot, and changing manager, bring in players, and it's just keeps on going. The same roller coaster ride. They're shite. But we're the laughing stock when it comes to Europe. And I don't think that we should be forgetting the fact that '67 was the 25th of May 1967 was a phenomenal achievement by Celtic Football Club. Something that was never achieved again by any team. Never achieved. having a bunch of lads that came from so close around the ground to becoming the champions of Europe. It's a sobering thought, you know, and especially after the season that we've just had. But anyway, I don't know where the goals were going to come from. They just stepped up. Calmax said after the 2-2 draw at Tynecastle, he said, I'd seen enough and I was very confident. He did say that. He said that he'd seen enough fight, he'd seen it in the dressing room. The good thing about the players, there's a lot of people saying good morning to Stephen Johnson in the chat, just to let you know, Stephen. Um, there's a lot of the players have come out and said that, you know, it was the belief that people like Callum McGregor gave us. Callum McGregor is the one player that gets the most stick. It's like Callum McGregor's the new Mikey Johnston. There's always got to be a Scottish player that gets an unbelievable amount of abuse. And yes, you know, maybe he needs to stop the pointy pointy. But when Callum McGregor's not doing the pointy pointy, he's further up the pitch. So that then comes to the way that Celtic play. Callum McGregor's not a holding midfield player. Do you know he's a attacking midfield player, either up on the left or causing mayhem in front of the box. And I think that that's what frustrates him, is that when he is sitting in that position, he's telling players, like, make this run, make this run. You know, and it comes across that he's doing nothing in the game, when the reality is he's doing a hell of a lot. But anyway, we move on. Tonight, Baz, we could drop him, says Jim Lister. Does Sriracha get in the crosses that Kieran Tierney could get in? And is Sriracha a real out and out winger? I think we should stop trying to make up who should be playing in what position. Let's leave that to the manager, the new manager that comes in, and let's let the manager decide if he even wants to keep Tinecti. He may not want Tinecti. You know, so all your love bombs for Tinecti, like I say, after Friday, Tinecti's not a Celtic player. Cannot blame Sriracha for not getting a full game. Tierney proved me wrong. He's got stronger as the season has progressed. He's been managed well and should be much fitter after a good pre-season, says Eddie. Kieran has made a lot of Celtic fans eat humble pie. They may not want to admit it, but there was loads of negativity around the fitness of Kieran Tierney at the beginning of the season, and that negativity just got worse when we weren't playing well. You know, to think that Brendan Rodgers called the team Honda Civics with Kieran Tierney in it is bonkers. Absolutely, this is the man who got the best out of Kieran Tierney. This is the man who made him a £25 million player to sell on. Jota might not make pre-season. Yes, we did a video about that. Kids keeper, where you been? Was it too late for you last night? Or you just now? Wasn't it? It was early video. He's not going to be back. Is Sriracha a Uruguayan international? Yes, he is. And what happened with the Willie Hockey and Paul McStay meeting? Has it happened? Yes, he is. They are taking it round the west coast of Scotland. They're dropping little love bombs in and around that side of Scotland. People that I've been speaking to aren't 100% convinced. So anyway, just what exactly is Jota's problem? ACL, yeah, he's had a few reoccurring. They better not drag their heels now. The board's got a bit lucky with the double win. It's keeping the heat off them a bit. Yeah, is that. Jota's been out of pro football for like 3 years. He's definitely finished, unfortunately, as a player too. You think so? Maybe 3-4-3 next season. Sriracha in a row. You're talking about players that are no longer Celtic players. Stop talking about players that aren't Celtic players. Honestly, it's crazy. Araujo's not a Celtic player. Simple as that. Just chinned in, but I don't transfer deals in the 11th hour. Yeah, I'm hoping we get our transfer deals done. And crazy handing out contracts to average players. That is why we have went backwards. I don't think it's a bad idea giving out contract deals to players that will. You need players within a team that are going to be the bread and butter players. Do you know, player? The Yang one's a strange one. I will admit that. But maybe the Yang one had to be done because Celtic knew that Jota wasn't going to be back. Celtic will have known for several months now that Jota's not going to be fit for pre-season. So whilst he recuperates back in Portugal and goes through whatever regime that he's going through on a daily basis back in Portugal, Celtic would have had to make sure that they retain a certain level of squad because the rebuild is going to be frigging enormous as it is. People like Liam Scales has got better each year. He's not the ideal answer. I get that. But you need if Stephen Welsh is going to leave the squad and he's going to leave this summer, you need people like Scales that even if another player comes in, Scales will fight for his place. Do you know you need players that will really when push comes to shove, do you know, and if they're asked to improve 5% over the course of a season, you'll bet your bottom dollar that Scales will go all out to try and improve that 5%. Even if it's only improving 0.5% a month or something, do you know what I mean? A couple of percent a month, it does a lot. He will know, and you need players like that. So, James Forrest for another year, I get that one. Let him finish his career at Celtic. He may not be the fastest. He's still got it in him. He played in the final. Yes, we need to look forward, but give James Forrest a bit of respect. Come on, he's given you his whole life from a young age, for about 8 year old. He's given his whole life to Celtic. The least that Celtic could do in that situation was let him finish his career at Celtic. So I don't think it's crazy handing out contracts like that. Some of the contracts, sometimes it's just the right thing to do. And anyway, someone said a couple of weeks ago, Happy Lisbon Lion Day, says Jim Lister. Good, good. You said you love the 88 season, Baz. Does that make you feel old? That was the year I was born, says Ali Boy. No, it was the year that I left school at 15 and a half. That's why it was special to me. Doesn't make me feel old. I left school at 15 and a half. I didn't leave school. I was kind of just told don't come back more than anything. Don't come back. Go to college, and then just leave in October when you're allowed to leave. Anyway, we're halfway to 10. I know. I can remember when we got to this point previously, and all the chat was about the 9. Do you know, it was all the way. It was all about getting that 9. And now that we're on the 5, next season becomes even bigger because you get the 6, and then you're only 3 away. The domination of Celtic and Scottish football is not going away anywhere. I think that do you know what? If I'm running Celtic, if I'm Dermot, right, I come out and if you really want to get the fans on board, you come out and you say, right, here's the script. Peter Lawwell, for all his hatred that he got before he left, he would come out and he would say at the AGM, I want domination of Scottish football. That's our main objective. Domination of Scottish football and a crack at Europe every year. Come out and say that again then. Don't know. What is the objective? Is it to get the 9? Secretly, do you want to get that 10? Tell us. Because that'll motivate us more than anything. Tell us and then say, we're going to try and get a manager to come in for 3 years, 4 years, trying to get us on our way. We're going to set up a system so we can get the players coming through the back room, players coming through the academy. We need to be producing players now for us getting the 7, 8, 9, 10. We need to have players coming through the academy that are 15, 16, 17, 18 right now, at this very moment, that you're thinking, and you're telling these young lads so that they're not thinking about going anywhere. Listen, you might only be 17-year-old now, but you keep going the way that you're going, and you could be one of the players that can make Celtic history. You could be one of the players that's picking up the trophy for 10 in a row. That's the goal. That's the objective. That is why you're doing this every day. This is why you're coming through the system at Celtic. Do not think about going away anywhere. Live the dream. Callum McGregor, James Forrest, Kieran Tierney. These are all people that you need to retain at Celtic to show these kids that there is a pathway and that they have the dream. Kieran Tierney come through the system and used to look at the Celtic players and he looked up to them like they were gods. I want the younger generation of Celtic players to be looking at the current set of Celtic players with the exact same look in their face and come on the 10. The old board, more buzz than this board. Yeah, it's very true. That was a quick 5 in a row. It seems like yesterday that Ange got off the private jet. It was a quick 5, wasn't it? Tell me about it. I don't want to be in my 70s and above for a good run in Europe. Neither do I. Sriracha's on 6,900 a week and had a training ground bust out at Boca. He's wanted by Racing Club. Played. Doesn't matter. We also suffered in the 1970 to Feyenoord. Yes, we did that. We've only suffered in Seville. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people talking about other teams. I think we should just leave that. We reached 2 European Cup finals. We lost one. Could have jumped through this. But I think you're so right. Must get players in to allow us get through the early rounds. I think that we need stability more than anything. Do you know? Ali boy. I don't want to connect either. He's pish. Did anyone give Pep a buzz? Worth a shot? I would have. Catch him off his guard, a bit emotional. You're right there, mate. Do you know, it's like he's just spent 13 million on a villa in Barcelona. So anyway. 4-3-3. Tierney left centre back, Sriracha left midfield. Kid keeper was out partying. We need to clear out now. The board need to back the next manager. We need a clear out of the board. Will that happen? Will there be any announced? Celtic fans were asked by Brian Wilson, let's just get together, let's focus, let's have a bit of unity, let's back the team. We'll let the Green Brigade, we will let the Green Brigade back in. Let's not forget what they did to 250 fans over the course of the season. They stopped 250 people from entering Celtic Park. Let's not forget that. Just because we're running it's good watching meltdowns and it's good watching, the loyal infighting and all the rest of it. But let's not let this lot off the hook, because this is what they want. If it was an old school Royal Rumble, it was a case of right, get to your corners, chill the out, and well, the final whistle's done. It's like the white flag gets ripped up, let the battle commence. Oomph. But no, Celtic are saying trophies are on your mind. Oh, love bomb, love bomb, love bomb. What did the board do? Well, Martin O'Neill brought us silverware home once again. It was a fantastic end to a roller coaster season. Really? Roller coaster? Are you having a laugh? You caused the roller coaster? Bunch of charlatans. Absolute charlatans. Anyway, maybe Sriracha can link up with. Yeah, of course. Stephen Johnson says, can everyone give the video a thumbs up? Baz, we need quality players. Players not good enough to win our league. Not players that are good enough to win our league. Hmm. Yes, I am, Brian. Yes, I am. Yes, I was a January boy. It was like, you know, you just couldn't leave it. You couldn't leave it the summer, so it was like you fucking kicked out, and it was like, fuck off, just fuck off. Do you think Andy Robertson will be a target? No, he's joined Spurs. He has joined Spurs. Andy Robertson. He'll get the news up for you. Let's get it on Twitter. Generally, information is released on Twitter before anywhere else in the world. Came out late last night. Farewell, Mo Salah, Andy Robertson, and Jordan Henderson. Where is it? See when you're looking for it. Andy Robertson. 4 hours ago, Andy Robertson, 32, is reportedly on the verge of joining Tottenham Hotspur on a free transfer. Spurs have secured Premier League survival. And then the next one, Andy Robertson. Spurs fans turning their nose up at Andy Robertson is hilarious. Andy Robertson to Spurs, yep. And then there's a fake picture of Andy Robertson in a Spurs top. Agreement in principle in place for the Scottish left back. Will he join Celtic? No. Am I kind of glad that he's not joining Celtic? Yes, because he's 32-year-old. And I don't think we should be chasing him, to be honest. We let him go as a youngster because he wasn't good enough. Bizarre. Bizarre. I would have given Forrest 2 more years. Nah. Let him, he needs to go. He needs to get a backroom job after next season. Let him finish his playing career at Celtic and then get a backroom job. If we had if we had some reserve team in the late 60s and 70s, we had some. Yeah, we did. What sort of role do you think Callum Osman will have next season? Second striker. Be the official Celtic. He'll be second striker at Celtic, and an early prediction. I said that Adam Ida would score 20 goals. I reckon Callum Osman can score 20 goals next season for Celtic. Screenshot that. Yeah, I think that, and I think he'll be second choice striker. Get rid of Sriracha. Don't mean that in a bad way, but just get him off the screen. I think Callum Osman will score 20 goals for Celtic, and he'll come off the bench to be a super sub. There we go. That's my early predictions. I'm just going to jump through some more of the comments. Let's just double check this. Celtic put out another thing with regards to the Lisbon Lions. Love Bomb Day. Second piece of information dropped by Celtic today. The 1966-67 season started with a 4-1 win over Manchester United in a packed Celtic Park, ended with a 1-0 victory over Real Madrid in Fredo Di Stefano's testimony in front of 110,000 passionate Spaniards who paid homage to the team in green and white from the frozen north. I get that. I totally get that. Those people from the frozen country. Oh man. Between those times, there were one or two notable victories in 62 competitive games played, with the scintillating Celts racking up 51 wins and 8 draws and only 3 defeats. 3 defeats. They'd won the league by netting 111 goals while losing only 33 at the other end in their 34 game season, with Dundee United being the only other side to beat Celtic that season. The League Cup was captured with the straight 10 wins, goal tally of 36 goals. Scottish Cup was always also added to the silverware in the showcase, um, as 6 games produced 20 goals for Celtic, 5 clean sheets, with only Queen's Park finding a way past the Celtic rearguard. Jesus, honestly, see when you look at the stats of what we achieved, do you know, it is unbelievable. All 4 trophy seasons would generally be more than enough for any team. Simply wasn't any team, was it? Look at that. I think we just take a moment to just reflect on that achievement. Unbelievable. To win everything in front of you. Everything. Do you know, they talk about Liverpool, talk about Man United, they talk about, do you know, Real Madrid being all conquering, and when you look at what Celtic did with a bunch of wee white Glaswegians for the frozen north, as the Spanish say. Fuck me. Unbelievable. It is. This was a band of men who were destined to go down in history as the Lisbon Lions. Now, 59 years later, we're still singing their praises on high. 100 years now, that will still be the case. Cheers, Celtic. Bring us back down to earth. Tell us we're not going to achieve nothing again. All that played 9 European matches in their very first foray on the continent's top stage. Celtic 2, Inter Milan 1. Sun-dressed Thursday, the 21st of May, in the Estadio Nacional in the Portuguese capital. Wonder how many folk will be trying to get in there today, because they're not allowed, aren't they? It's like, get piss off. You're not allowed in. Hail, hail to the Lisbon Lions. It's sad that so many aren't here anymore. You know, it's sad that so many of them have passed away. The stats in the league, this is impressive. You know, the league, 34, 126, drawn 6, lost 2. Goals, 111 against 33, goal difference of 78. League Cup, played 10, won 10, drawn 0, lost 0, 35 goals. European Cup, played 9, won 7, drew 1, lost 1. Goals for 18, 5 against. Glasgow Cup 3, 1-3, lost now, 12 goals. Scottish Cup 6 games, 5 games won, 1 game drawn, 20 goals for. 196 goals. 196 goals in a season. That's unbelievable. Do you know what? It's no wonder that when Brendan Rodgers came in, he looked at stats like this and goes, let's see if we can beat them. Let's see if we can. I want the next manager to do that. Don't know. Let's see if we can beat the Lisbon Lions 111 goal tally. I want to achieve greatness, and I want you to achieve greatness. 196 goals for a season. That's just unbelievable. I've watched that game in full well over 15 times. Jinky Johnson was phenomenal. Was that? Was that? Anyway, right. That is Celtic's little bit of an update. Dermot Desmond to speak to Martin O'Neill this week. When this week? It'd be good to try and speak to him today, Dermot. Martin O'Neill is expected to meet with Dermot Desmond this in the coming days after the double. 74-year-olds won the Premiership and the Scottish Cup with an unbelievable turnaround of events that have allowed the Celtic board to get off on a free. Celtic board asked for unity. We gave you the unity. Celtic board, it is over to you. Give us the answers. Give us the answers to the questions that we wanted before the unity. Give us the answers to the way forward for the club. Do not just put out love bombs that, yeah, it was all good what we did back in 1967. And if you want to renew your season ticket, renew it now because it has to be done before Friday. How about this week you come and tell us who the new manager is, what his plans are, and what your plans are for the future? Martin Neal says that Dermot Desmond brought me back in the first place. I owe him a great deal. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Martin Neal said also, next week I might be speaking to the owner. If you're asking me if I could step in after a 3-day holiday, I wouldn't have that about me. Martin Neal knows that he needs to rest now. Will he be the Celtic manager next season? Will he be upstairs in some capacity? I think that that's more than likely. Come on, Celtic. We are all sitting, waiting, anticipating. Over to you. Thank you to everyone who's joined the live this morning. Not too bad for a Monday morning. Been over 1,600 people in the live. Have an absolutely fantastic day with massive change coming amongst the team. Martin O'Neill wanting to make a new team tick before handing over the reins. Wouldn't you better just getting in a new manager and allow him to have his way? It's going to be another transfer window. We do if all and bring in also Rands. No disrespect to any player, but geez, season just ending and we are sitting once again waiting. Yep, it is that. So on behalf of the Celtic fan base all around the world, Celtic, it is really over to you.